Hi there. We are on day 50 of our Through the New Testament in a Year. And today we're finishing the first chapter of Mark, but we have to go back to yesterday's because for some reason they divided a section in half, which is weird. Now, yesterday he has just called his first four disciples. Okay, so now there are four of them. Okay. James and John, son of Zebedee, and Andrew and Simon. Okay. So, and immediately they followed him, and that's where it ends. It says, and then they went into Capernaum, and immediately on the Sabbath he entered a synagogue and was teaching, and they were astonished at his teaching, for he taught them as one who had authority, and not as the scribes. Right. So, and here's today's. The rest of it. We had to finish that so that they were in the church, and he was preaching, right? And immediately there was in their synagogue a man with an unclean spirit, and he cried out, "What do you have to do with us, Jesus of Nazareth? Have you come to destroy us? I know who you are, the Holy One of God." But Jesus rebuked him, saying, "Be silent and come out of him." And the unclean spirit, convulsing him and crying out with a loud voice, came out of him. And they were all amazed, so that they questioned among themselves, saying, "What is this? A new teaching with authority. He commands even the unclean spirits, and they obey him." And at once his fame spread everywhere throughout all the surrounding region of Galilee. Right? Yeah, that would do it, huh? Jesus heals many. And immediately he left the synagogue and entered the house of Simon and Andrew with James and John, his four disciples he has, right? Now Simon's mother-in-law lay ill with a fever, and immediately they told him about her. And he came and took her by the hand and lifted her up, and the fever left her, and she began to serve them. Right? You can imagine feeling that much better that quickly. That evening at sundown, they brought him all who were sick or oppressed by demons, and the whole city was gathered together at the door. And he healed many who were sick with various diseases and cast out many demons. And he would not permit the demons to speak because they knew him. Right? They know God when they see him. You bet. Jesus preaches in Galilee. And rising very early in the morning, while it was still dark, he departed and went out to a desolate place, and there he prayed. And Simon and those who were with him searched for him, and they found him and said to him, "Everyone is looking for you." And he said to them, "Let's go on to the next two towns, that I may preach there also, for that is why I came out." And they went throughout all Galilee, preaching in their synagogues and casting out demons, right? Jesus and his four disciples. Jesus cleanses a leper. And a leper came to him, imploring him and kneeling to him. He said, "If you will, you can make me clean." Moved with pity, he stretched out his hand and touched him and said, "I will be clean." And immediately the leprosy left him, and he was made clean. And Jesus sternly charged him and sent him away at once, and said to him, "See that you say nothing to anyone, but go show yourself to the priest and offer for your cleansing what Moses commanded, for a proof to them." But he went out and began to talk freely about it and to spread the news, so that Jesus could no longer openly enter a town, but was out in desolate places, and people were coming to him from every quarter. Right? It's being so popular that you can't even enter a town now, and you'll be mobbed by everybody. So, but he had to know. I mean, he had to know that he was going to do that. Right? There you go. That's the rest of Mark. I imagine tomorrow we'll be reading Mark chapter 2. Right? The whole chapter. Good. Shorter chapter. Jesus healing, Jesus calling Levi. All right. That's Matthew, right? Calling Levi. Changed all their names. Fasting, Lord of the Sabbath. So, yeah, good stuff. Well, there you go. These are very short studies because they're stretching out the New Testament to cover a whole year when it's only 277 chapters in total, right? So they have to stretch it out to 365 days, which means they cut a lot of the stuff in half just to give you the same, between 5 and 10 minutes every day. There you have it. These will be nice short studies, and like I said, as it gets into some of the other ones, we will tear them apart and really get into it. The story of Jesus, what he did was very plain and very simple and direct forward, and I mean, take it on faith that he did what he did and said what he said, right? So there you have it. Give us a like if you think about it. Catch up on any you may have missed. Or just read Matthew and catch up with us. But tomorrow we'll keep going. See you then.